A very good afternoon. Before starting with this lecture, let me give you a brief introduction through a video. In case if the audio is not audible, it's no issues. You simply need to watch the video. So let me play it once. Okay, just wait a minute and I will just admit these people and start the video. Okay, is my screen visible? I guess the audio is not audible.
No, sir. Audio is also audible.
सर
Okay,
ऑडियो
sorry.
स्पीड है सर
Okay, चलेगा. Okay, let me play it. So I hope you like this video. This was just an introduction to
Yes,
what
sir.
we do. Okay, thank you. So let's start with today's lecture. So you might have got a basic understanding what exactly we are going to learn today. We are going to see what are the various authentication techniques, what are the various ways in which one can get authenticated, and the various loopholes and the various ways in which by which we can bypass those authentication mechanisms. Okay, so let me jump to the presentation which I'm having for you. I would try to keep it as interactive as possible in between. I should how it goes. So the very first.
Sir, your voice is cracking up a lot.
सर बहुत ज्यादा
Okay, let me check. Is it fine now?
यस सर
Okay, I've switched to my mobile phone. Okay, so first of all, we are going to see what are the various authentication methodologies. For example, the very first type is a computer system. For example, the very first is authentication definition. Okay, so first of all, what do you mean by authentication? Any idea? We have already seen what is authentication, but kindly let me know what exactly does it mean. authentication.
To prove that something is legitimate, or your identity or
Okay.
any identity of anything, any person is legitimate.
Okay, basically the identity of something, if it can be proved with respect to some already existing data in your database, is nothing but authentication. For example, if you want to identify yourself to a computer system, okay, so there has to be some data present on the computer system or on the backend server, which will basically identify you or verify you. It's something through which you can verify yourself, your identity or your verification is termed as authentication. Okay, so basically it is divided into these two types. You can see over here. Let me zoom it up. It's basically determining who a person really is. Okay, it consists of these two steps. First is identification and second is authentication itself. So first thing is identification, means you have to identify who you actually are. This is the very first step. You can do so with the help of an identity card, for example, your Aadhaar card, your PAN card, etc. Anything which is having your photograph, your ID proof is nothing but your identification. Secondly, second step is authentication. It is nothing but you need to prove who you are actually trying to portray as. For example, you have already said in the very first step over here in identification that your name is XYZ. Now, you need to have some proof using which you can prove that you only are XYZ and no one else is having your identity. You're getting what I'm trying to say? First step is you have to identify yourself with the help of some name. For example, your email ID. Your email ID is public. Everyone knows about it. But something with the help of which you can actually prove that this email belongs to you is nothing but authentication. For example, your email passwords. Obviously, you will not share your password with n number of people, right? So those who are having your password, or for example, those who are having your Gmail password may log in on your behalf. So you would like to limit sharing of that password with n number of people, right? You wouldn't like your personal data to be shared by n number of people on the internet. So basically, if you are claiming to be someone, you should be having a proof for that particular claim. That is what we call as authentication, right? So the very first step you might have seen in the video also, there are three types of authentication. In fact, there are four, but we are going to learn about these three in detail. What was the very first type? Could you please elaborate the very first type you saw in the video?
Something
Then I
you
can
know.
move.
Something you know.
ID
Something you know. Okay, something you know.
something you have.
Okay.
Sir, वो भी चलेगा.
चलेगा, कुछ भी चलेगा. Sequence doesn't matter. Let's start with something you know. Okay. Something you know is nothing but your password. For basic example, you can say that password is something you know. Clear? So, अभी मैंने example दिया. For example, the ID is ID is public and the password is private. So that is something which can allow access to a particular resource present on the server. It could be your mailbox, it could be your Google Drive, whatever you want to call it. Any resource, if you want to access, and if it has a barrier in between, which you can pass only if you identify yourself, then it is called as the very first type, that is type something you know, which is nothing but a password. Okay, so let me move into the very first type, something you know. We'll see some demos on this particular topic. The very first thing is you need to have a strong password, right? We all know that. How to make it strong? I will also show some research papers in which it has been proved that depending on the length of the password, it takes the time actually varies exponentially. For example, the common time needed to crack a 6-digit password varies from 2 months to 2 years. So basically, you can see that if you're having a very strong password, it can vary from the time can vary from 2 months to 2 years. I'm just giving an example. You can even crack a password within few seconds. I will show how to crack it. But according to that research, it was shown that it can take the time anywhere between 2 months to 2 years, depending upon how strong your password is. Okay, so let's start with the very first type, that is how to secure our passwords and what are the various parameters using which you can secure your passwords. The very first type is, we all are used to having very simple passwords. For example, our Wi-Fi passwords may not be that strong enough. Okay. For example, I'm talking about the Wi-Fi router password. By default, it comes as admin or admin password, right? So can you tell me how can we make it stronger? Over here, there are many options are provided. You can take any of the options and give me an answer. How can we make a password strong?
Including special characters, numbers, alphabets, uppercase, lowercase.
Okay. Anything else?
सर कोई भी वर्ड नहीं होना चाहिए जो डिक्शनरी में अवेलेबल हो और
Correct.
सीक्वेंस नहीं होना चाहिए.
Correct. Very good answer. It should not be a predictable word, right? कुछ ऐसा सीक्वेंस में नहीं होना चाहिए, कुछ ऑलरेडी जो डिक्शनरी में है वैसा कुछ वर्ड नहीं होना चाहिए. Because we'll see in dictionary based attacks what happens is the attacker is having a dictionary and he tries each and every possible combination of the passwords which are present in the dictionary. So it becomes really easy. At some point of time, the attacker would be able to break the password within few minutes or few hours maximum. So it depends upon how strong the passwords are, right? So if you are having a password which is not a very common word or very common phrase, which is not a single word phrase, you can easily crack those passwords. Okay. For example, I'm having a password which is a combination of alphabets, numbers, special symbols, and that too randomly arranged. So it becomes really difficult to crack such a password. Okay, I will show you some examples. But before that, this is the paper I was talking about. They have listed 12 steps in which an attacker might try to obtain the password. These are the 12 steps, basic 12 steps, using which the attacker might try to break into your machine. Now, these 12 steps are arranged according to some degree of difficulty. Obviously, first step will be really simple. 12th step will be really difficult and time consuming. So let's start with the very first step, how the attacker tries to derive the password of the victim. Very first step is you might not be having any password at all. Okay, for example, your laptop. If you are the only user, you might not be having any password at all to that computer system. So anyone can log into that machine and do whatever they want to do, right? Second step is the password might be same as your user ID. It could be admin. It could be password, whatever. So it might be something which is similar to your user ID. Many people do so. If they are not able to recollect what the password is, they actually try to keep the password as simple as possible. They keep it same as the user ID, but that is the very worst decision actually, because anyone can crack, anyone can try to guess it starting from that point only. For example, if my password is admin, I will by default start with admin as my first guess. Okay. If my user ID is admin123, I would first of all try to put admin123 in the password field and try to crack the password. It's common mentality. So people should not keep their password same as the user ID. Okay. Third is the password is derived from the user's name. That is the most common thing that people do. You should not keep your password by deriving something from your username. I should not put a password as Sridhar123, SRI123. It is very easy to guess it, right? So that is the very first mistake, common mistake people do. We should avoid doing it. Next is, as explained very well, on a common word list. We should not keep our password from a common word list. Common word list means a dictionary. Okay, it could be an English word, it could be an English phrase. We should not keep it. For example, over here, I should not keep a password as password only. It's really ridiculous if I keep my password as password, right? So it could be easily cracked. Similarly, I should not put a password as secret. I should not put it as private and so on. And some common names also. We have a tendency of putting it as QWERTY because it's really easy to type on the keyboard and it's really easy to remember. So I can keep some password as QWERTY, which I should not. Okay. Similarly, next level of password cracking is it is contained in a short college dictionary. So what do you mean by this college dictionary? Any answers? Contained in a short college dictionary. You can type your answers, or you can even unmute yourself to give the answer. What do you think this could mean? Contained in a short college dictionary. Kindly type your answers गूगल मत करना. Come on, hurry up. Or else I will pick up names. नाम बुला के पूछूंगा आंसर्स में. Give me answers quick. Hurry up. College dictionary, short college dictionary. What do you mean by that?
सर वो वर्ड्स जो डिक्शनरी में भले ना हो लेकिन हम लोग यूज करते हैं, लाइक किसी का
Okay.
नाम हो गया या
For
फिर
example, Vignesh, for example.
सर लाइक आजकल ये बहुत चल रहा है कि हम लोग पासवर्ड इनकरेक्ट, तो ये पहले जोक था, अभी लोगों ने सच्ची में रखना चालू कर दिए, तो वो एक हो सकता है. फिर
Okay,
कोई
nice
अपनी
one.
गर्लफ्रेंड का नाम रख सकता है या फिर अपना बर्थ डेट रख सकता है.
Okay. Basically, anything which is not present in dictionary. Very well said by
The
Jignesh.
slang.
Slangs, lingo, college lingo, for example. Okay. WhatsApp. This is not a word in the dictionary, right? WhatsApp is not there, but you can use it as a password. So people generally use such words which may not be present in the common English dictionary, but people make a slang out of it, a common college lingo out of it, and use it as a password. So that can also be cracked within few minutes or maximum few hours. So we should avoid doing that. Next up, a complete English word list. Obviously, we have already seen it. A complete English word. It might be a longer word, but again, if it belongs to a dictionary, even if it is a long word, it can be cracked within few minutes or maximum few hours. Okay, so we should not use a complete word as it is. We could put in some alphabets, extra special characters, some symbols in between the password to make it longer as well as difficult to guess. Okay. Next up, contained in a common non-English language dictionary. For example, English is one of the most popular languages in the world. Apart from that, we have other languages, Spanish, French, something, a password which is made out of a non-English language is a most common method apart from these steps we have already seen so far. Okay, so that is again, if you are not finding a word in English dictionary, you could obviously go for some other language dictionary and find the word over there. So if English is not your primary language, you would tend to use any other language dictionary for your password. So attackers eventually try with English first, and then they move on to most other popular languages in the world. It could be Hindi also. So you can even put some Hindi words in English basically. So you can write Hindi words in English as a password. That is again one of the tricks you can use to keep your password secure. Right. Next up, contained in a short college dictionary with capitalization. The same thing. Now we have seen almost 6 to 7 methods. The next ones which we are going to see over here is a combination of the upper methods we have seen so far, along with capitalizations or camel casing. Over here you can see that it's a short college dictionary with capitalization. Any word with uppercase, lowercase mix in between could be a password. Next up, a complete English dictionary word with capitalizations or substitutions. Suppose you might have seen words with vowels removed. Okay, for example, I'm typing my email ID over here in the chat box. This is my email ID. I have removed the vowels. It is SRDHR1234. So I have removed I and A from the name. So this is one of the examples. Okay, this is not my password. Obviously, I'm not that fool enough to share my password. This is just my Gmail ID, srdhr1234@gmail.com. So people can make passwords out of it by removing some words, substituting some words by uppercase, lowercase. In my case, I have removed the vowels. So you can try out some other techniques to make your passwords even stronger. Next up, non-English dictionaries with capitalization. Same thing. Okay, it doesn't need any explanation. Last two steps are the most time-consuming steps of cracking a password. It is basically brute force. You all know what is brute force. In the previous lecture, I demonstrated how we can crack a password using brute force. In today's lecture, I'm going to show a demo using a very common tool which is called as John the Ripper. in Kali Linux. I will be using it to crack some Unix passwords. Obviously, I have created some files and I'm going to show you how to crack those files using John the Ripper. So brute force is all about trying combinations. The 11th one is trying combinations of alphabetical characters, and the last one is trying all the possible combinations from a full character set. Now, when I'm talking about a full character set, it comprises of alphabets, uppercase, lowercase, and numbers, and also some special characters. So it takes a long time, really long time, to crack a password which is made up of all the possible combinations of a full character set. I will show you in one of the PPTs. Okay, let me show you now only. If I'm having that chat, yeah, I'm having it. See the percentage of passwords guessed after a given number of guesses. Is the screen visible? You can just have a look what I'm trying to say. For example, if a password is really strong enough, it could take even 10 raised to 13 guesses, and that too you would be able to guess only for 40 to 50% of the password. So this is just an example. If you are having a very strong password, very difficult to guess, it will take a lot of time to crack it. In this particular statistics, they have shown it takes around 10 raised to 13 number of guesses to actually come close to even 40% or 50% of the password. So this is one of the examples. I will show you this PPT also. I will share it with you. So this was all about a password. Let me show you an example. Let me show you an example of a good password. Over here, can you see this particular word over here? 2BRN 2BTI. What could this mean? It's written beneath only. Just try to guess it. 2BRN 2BTI. Followed by question mark also. It's given beneath it. Try to guess it as an attack. Suppose you are an attacker, try to guess it. To be or not to be is the question, okay? Okay. I guess slight change. Okay, let me see.
To be or not to be.
Okay. It was very close, but what was the actual password? To be or not to be, that is the question. Okay, this was what I meant with the help of this particular phrase. To be or not to be, that is the question. Okay, you can change it whichever way you wish. So basically, it becomes a lot difficult for the computer system because computer is not that capable as humans are. So it won't be able to judge it with these acronyms. So it will, at the end, a human being is not going to guess all the passwords and type the passwords and check whether they are matching with it or not. So basically, the computer only has to go through some algorithm, go through some dictionaries, and then here the computer will be able to crack the password. So to make it more difficult for the computer to understand what I'm trying to say, try to make it as difficult as possible. Okay, try to put in characters in between. Over here, the character is nothing but a question mark. Generally, we don't use a question mark in the password. So it's basically adding complexity to your password. Nothing else. You got it? What I was trying to say? Clear? Or something like this. The next password could be pay taxes April 15th. This is again not a common thing, right? What we are trying to do is we are trying to combine multiple words as a single word and keeping it as a password. You're getting it what I'm trying to say? This particular word is not present in the dictionary. Is it present? Is it present as a single word? I'm asking. Pay taxes April 15th. No, no. So it becomes really difficult for the machine to guess whether this is a single word or not. So we can keep our password as strong as possible, but still there are some chances, as very good as asked by Sagar. If we put a strong password, then also there is some probability. Obviously, there is a probability because no one is no one could be pretty sure that his or her password is uncrackable or not crackable, right? So we can crack any passwords, but the time complexity keeps on adding it. Okay, adding into it. So basically, it takes a longer amount of time to crack a password which consists of n number of characters in between. That's why people say, right? That's why the search engines, or even the even at the time of creating an account, it's always mentioned, try to keep a longer password. Try to make it a mix of alphanumeric characters. That is the only reason. I know this topic is very repetitive. You all know about it, but I'm just going into the technical terms, nothing else, because you have to write it for a 10 marks question. So you have to explain it very well. Otherwise, easy pickings there, you won't get full marks. So you have to pitch in all the possible areas you could possibly think of to write this 10 marks question. Okay, so this was all about what are good passwords, what are bad passwords, how to crack the bad passwords. Over here, just an example is given. There are 26 possibilities for each character, right? If I add the numbers, it becomes 36. Similarly, if I add the uppercase letters, it becomes 62. Why 62? 26 into 252 plus 10 numbers. So if I add uppercase, lowercase, as well as your 10 digits, it becomes 62 possible characters. So it can take somewhere between 0 to 2 raised to 62 amount of time. So you can assume how longer it will take for an attacker to crack a password which comprises of the entire character set. That is what we had discussed so far. The same example, it takes around 100 hours to test a 6-letter character. If the number of characters increase from 6 to 8, it may take somewhere between 7 to 8 days. If I increase the character strength from 6 to 10, it might take around 1 or 2 months to decrypt it. So basically, depending upon the length of the character or the length of the password, the amount associated with decrypting that password keeps on growing exponentially. Clear? So are we on the same page? Have you understood how we can increase our security by increasing the complexity of a password? Right? If you have any queries regarding this, you could ask me, or else I could proceed to showing a demo on this. Okay, thank you. Okay, so let me show you a demo, quick demo. I'm not sure how long it is going to take, but let's see. I'll show you first of all what I'm trying to do, what is the agenda of this demo, and then let's see how long it takes. The very first thing which I'm going to show you is how to crack a Linux password. So for example, you have a computer which is already logged in inside Linux, okay, which is already logged in using a Linux operating system, and you want to know the password of that machine. How to do it? Okay, it's really very simple. Just a one-liner code you can see in the screen. First of all, you need to go to your Kali Linux machine, open the terminal. John the Ripper is already installed in it, so you simply need to paste this command. Now I will explain to you what exactly I'm doing. John is the keyword of that particular software, John the Ripper, followed by etc/shadow. Can anyone tell me what is that shadow? What is the shadow called as? And what is etc? etc is nothing but a directory. Inside that we have a file called shadow. Any idea what is shadow is all about?
Bash script रहेगा sir maybe.
What?
Bash script file रहेगा maybe.
Password file.
Okay. Password file. It's a shadow file. Basically, shadow files are nothing but a text file, you could say that. It consists of all the passwords of that machine along with the hash values of those passwords. It's not a script file. Okay, let's see what it is exactly. It's basically a file. You could say that it's similar to a text file, which is having entries for passwords along with the hash of those passwords. Let me show you with the help of a PPT slide. Over here, it's if it is visible. There is a password and there is some salt. I've already shown you, I've already discussed about what exactly is salt in our previous subject called cryptography and system security. I don't know if you remember. What is salt basically? Don't tell me bogus answers. Don't give me bogus answers. So just stick to technical answers. What is salt? Any idea? I had also given some examples of salting. Whenever you try to log in using any SSL encrypted website, if you enter your password, some extra bogus characters or random characters get added onto your password. Have you experienced it? For example, if I log into onlinesbi.com, enter my password and press the submit button, once I submit it, along with my password, some extra characters get added onto it. If you have not, what?
ATM, sir, basically. Paying
Yeah.
ATM.
Okay, we could take example of Paytm also. So basically what happens is some extra characters are added onto a password to make it even more stronger for the attacker to decrypt it. This salt is basically Kajal has answered, it's adding some extra bit. We are adding some randomness to the password because every single time the password is entered, random characters get added as salt. Okay, so see over here what exactly is happening. The password along with the salt is combined together and a hash function is computed. Hash value is computed. That hash value along with the salt and the user ID is stored inside a password file. This is similar to your shadow file. So you're getting what I'm trying to say. The password file will be having some entries for your user ID, your salt, as well as the hash of the entire combined value, which is nothing but a combination of salt and password. This value is stored inside a table. Okay. Now, while verification, what exactly is happening, have a look on the second diagram. What is exactly happening over here in this particular diagram? Can anyone tell me how is the comparison done? Just have a look at the diagram and let me know. Any one of you can answer. Just go through it once. Any answers? Hurry up.
सर बेसिकली ये वही सॉल्ट वैल्यू यूज करता है वो टेबल में से, ताकि मतलब नेक्स्ट टाइम भी जब लॉगिन करे तब मतलब वो इनकरेक्ट पासवर्ड ना बताए वो एक्स्ट्रा बिट ऐड करने के बाद एंड में.
So basically, जब first time login किया था, salt उसका store हो गया, right? What we are doing is we are fetching that salt from the table, and now while visiting the website again, if I enter the password, okay, if I enter a wrong password, obviously my hash value will differ, right? But if I enter a correct password and the salt is exactly same which I had entered previously, so that salt will be again fetched from the pre-existing table and added with the password which I have entered now, and again a hash value will be computed. If that hash value is exactly same as the hash value present inside my table, then only I will get access to the database or whatever server, whatever resources I am willing to access. You're getting what I'm trying to say? If needed, I can show you the previous table once again. The table consists of user ID, the salt which was used at that time, and the hash value. So I'm fetching the salt from this table, okay? I'm waiting for the user to enter the password, and I'm again computing the hash of that salt and password combined using the same algorithm. The algorithm could be MD5 or SHA, whichever it is being approved, whichever you are willing to use. You compute the hash once again and then compare it with the hash value already present inside your table. If both of the hash values are exactly same, then we could come to know, then we could be sure that the user has entered the password correctly. Otherwise, the user has either forgotten the password or any malicious attempt is being performed on the server, right? So is it clear? This is how passwords are stored in Unix, and this could be used for applications. So now let me show you how we can crack that password using this John the Ripper tool. So we are actually interacting with the shadow file directly. So if I enter this, if I press enter over here, okay, let me see. It is not working right now. Okay, let me check it 1 second. Okay. Over here, you could see that the etc folder consists of n number of files over here. We have to directly interact with the shadow file or the password file. Okay, right now I guess it is not working. Okay, let me check whether John is open. Okay. Sorry. Yeah. Okay, right now it's not working. I will show you some other time. I will show you the second demo. Okay, it's not working right now. I guess there is some issue with something or the code. I've copied something else. Okay, let me show you the second one. I will show you this time. I will show you this particular demo some other time. Let me show you the second one and the third one. Second one is very simple. Second one is all about unzipping, or what you can say, cracking a zip file password. It's really very simple. What you need to do is you need to first of all create a zip file. Okay, I have already created a zip file in this particular location. Let me show you. Okay. This is the zip file I am talking about. For example, this is a demo txt file. It's having some one lines or two lines inside it. This is a temporary file I'm using for demo purpose. Okay, so what I did is I first of all encrypted it. I first of all compressed it and then encrypted it using a password. I need to get hold of this password. So how to decrypt it, how to get hold of this password, let me show you. The command is something like this. I will first of all explain you the command and then I will try to use it on Kali. Very first thing is you have to go to the path where the file is present. In my case, the file is present on desktop. So let me close this. Let me open it on new terminal. Okay. The very first thing is you need to go to the desktop wherever the file is located. Okay. So let me check what are the files present inside it. Okay. These are the files: demo.txt, demo.zip. I am interested with cracking the demo.zip file. Right. So what I need to do is I will simply copy it and paste it over here. Now see what I'm trying to do. I am first of all willing to convert the zip file into a text file. Anyone of you having any idea why I'm doing this, or why I'm converting the zip file into a text file? What I'm trying to do exactly?
Sir, maybe we get
Extracting.
password
Maybe we are.
in the text file. Maybe we get to know the actual password in the text file.
ओके वो पीपीटी देखा आप लोगों ने जो मैंने अभी दिखाया था यूनिक्स वाला पासवर्ड का अभी दिखाया था पीपीटी मैंने यूनिक्स हाउ पासवर्ड्स आर स्टोर्ड इन यूनिक्स basically passwords are not stored in plain text, they are stored in terms of their hash values. Okay, so what I'm trying to do is I'm first of all trying to read the file and then converting that into its hash equivalent, because we can't store passwords as plain text. So what I'm trying to do is, first of all, let me delete the already existing txt file over here. Otherwise, you will get confused. Okay. So what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to convert the zip file into a txt file, and I will show you what are the contents of that txt file. So it's already done. So now let me click on it and show you what exactly it consists of. I'll enlarge the size. Okay, let me copy this. Basically, you can see over here, it is nothing but a hash value. It is very small. Basically, I'm trying to find the hash value and the salt value associated with that password. Very well said by Abhijit. So this is nothing but I'm converting the demo.zip file into a text equivalent, which will consist only of the hashes and the SHA values associated with the password. Next up, I will be applying John the Ripper on the text file and not on the zip file. So I can use this command, very simple it is. John, let me show you. John space hyphen hyphen format. I have to mention the format of the original file, which was zip space the text file which is just now created. Okay, if I press enter, I guess I'm having some issues with the hash values. I will just share this code with you. Right now it is not working. I don't know what is the reason. It was working fine yesterday. It was working fine in the morning also. I guess there is some issue with the hash values. So I will be sharing the code with you. The demo will obviously work. Okay, so let me explain the code. I'm very sorry it is not working right now, but the code is absolutely correct. Okay, so let's check the third type, which is decrypting MD5 hashes. Now, there's a website, very popular website. You might have heard about it. If not, let me show you. Kindly check this website, md5online.org. What you can do is, you can enter a word. For example, let me type in my name, SRI, and press enter or press send. Okay, it has some captchas associated with it. Simply select those values, press verify, and once you're done, over here you can see this is your MD5 value. What is this MD5 corresponding to? This is the MD5 corresponding to the text I entered, which was SRI. So whenever I type SRI in lower cases, it will definitely give me the same MD5 value. So now what I'm trying to do is, again my John the Ripper is not working. I don't know what is the reason. It was working yesterday, but what I actually intended was, I actually wanted to show you how we could decrypt it back. So have a look at this code. I will share the code with you all. Okay, is it visible? I have also mentioned the, okay, thank you. I've also mentioned the steps. First of all, you need to create an MD5 hash of a text file. Okay, and then let me show you where is the MD5 hash. This is the hash file. This is the same hash I got. If you compare this with the one I have received just now, which using that website, that is MD5 online. Let me show you. Okay, if I copy this from here, and paste it over here, you will see that both the hash values are same. If it is visible or not, I'm not sure.
Sir, visible.
Okay, I guess some issues with my system. I will get back to the demos again next time. But have a look, both the hash values are same. This is what we have got using that website MD5 online. So what I was trying to do is, first step is create an MD5 hash of the text file. Second step, again you have to run John the Ripper. Okay, using these commands. In the previous case, you might have seen that the format was zip. Now in this case, the format is a raw MD5 format. So you have to mention the format over here, raw-MD5, followed by the text file you had just now created. The text file is nothing but, in my case, it is hash.txt. I have to send it as an argument or as an input. Once John the Ripper reads the values present inside the hash, it will give out the result on the console as, what will be the result? What did I enter in the text box? It was SRI. So basically what we are trying to do is, with the help of John the Ripper, we can decrypt any hash value present in the machine. Okay, so as you all know, if I create a hash of a particular word right now, if I do it after 100 years, the hash will be same only. The only thing is, I should type in as it is. For example, I can't write SRI in capital letters, or I can't type the first letter capital, otherwise the entire hash will differ. Okay, as we all know, because of avalanche effect, the hash values will differ significantly even if a small change is made in the input. Okay, so this is how we can easily crack a particular password using John the Ripper. I'm really sorry the demo didn't work out. I had been planning it for a long time, but technical issues.
सर सजेशन सर जब आपने पहले वाले वो किया था उसके अंदर वो ये बता रहा था कि फॉर्मेट क्रिप्ट करके ऐड करो। आपने जहाँ पे ये फॉर्मेट जिप एंड MD5 वाला ट्राई किया है, एक बार खाली शैडो के लिए वो ट्राई करके देखो ना, फॉर्मेट क्रिप्ट वाला मे भी चल जाए।
ओके, बट सेकंड वाला भी तो नहीं चला ना फॉर्मेट पे।
देखते हैं ना सर एक बार।
ओके ओके, रुको वेट, पहले बाहर आना तो मैं ऑलरेडी डेस्कटॉप पे हूँ। सेम है, मुझे ये काली को रिस्टार्ट करना पड़ेगा, इट विल टेक सम टाइम।
तेजस ने एक डाला है सजेशन,
हाँ, मैं
देखो।
ट्राई करके देखता हूँ, ट्राई करता हूँ। आया आया, ओके। Actually, anyways, you need to go through the help also. I answer. Let me show you. Thanks, Tejas. Okay. Can you see root and tour? Because Kali का by default tour ही होता है password. I haven't changed it. I have kept it as it is. Let me try the other one also अगर workout हो जाए तो. बहुत पहले किया था सर. Actually, I'm not able to recollect. Okay, just stop. Let me give you the attendance link by in between, and I will keep on trying. Okay. Okay, fill up the attendance. In the meantime, let me try if it works out. Okay, one password is loaded. Okay. Same issue.
सर काली को रिस्टार्ट मारना पड़ेगा, काली का कुछ इशू
वही
है सर।
वही कल चल रहा था, आज नहीं हो रहा, काली का इशू। ओके, नो इश्यूज, नेक्स्ट टाइम देखते हैं। या मे बी पासवर्ड ऑलरेडी क्रैक है, बिकॉज मॉर्निंग में मैंने क्रैक करके देखा था, इट वाज वर्किंग वेरी वेल। क्योंकि वही बता रहा है, नो पासवर्ड हैशेस लेफ्ट टू क्रैक, मींस इट्स ऑलरेडी बीन क्रैक्ड। So I will restart the machine and next time I will start with this demo itself, because otherwise मुझे अंदर से satisfaction नहीं मिलेगा. Okay, so let's try it once again next time and then see how it works. Okay, till then, fill up the attendance link. We have seen so far till this particular topic, password. Show parameter try करके देखता, but again it will be okay. Let's see. हो गया हो गया हो गया. Okay, according to this, I have password as admin. Workout हो तो रहा है. Let's see. Last one is remaining. Last one भी कर लेते हैं. Okay. हो गया. Kindly check your answers. We are getting the result. Thanks, Tejas. I simply forgot about that show parameter. पहले भूल गया था actually. Just have a look. दोनों चीजें हो चुकी है. If you can look into the screen, the MD5 hash is also being decrypted over here. It was SRI. I simply forgot this show parameter. You simply need to type in the format, which is raw MD5, read the text file, which is hash.txt, and after reading it successfully, it will show you what was the actual MD5 value, which was nothing but SRI, which we have already seen, right? So generally this happens if you have already cracked the password. So I should have restarted my Kali machine to show it properly. But anyhow, it is working. So we have already covered this password cracking in this particular lecture. In the next lecture, I will show you the remaining topics, which are basically biometrics. And last one, after biometrics, we are going to learn about some tokens. For example, RFID tokens, NFC tokens, and using which you could actually get some authentication done. Okay. So thank you so much. Fill up the attendance and let's meet in the next lecture, that is tomorrow from 11 to 12. Okay. If you are having any doubts regarding this, you can ask me. I will share this particular code file with you. Don't forget to add the show parameter. It actually overrides whether you have restarted your machine or not. It will work for you. Okay, so I will share you the updated one, and then you can try it out. Okay. Any doubts so far?
No sir, मजा आया.
Actually workout नहीं हुआ, but still finally output तो आ गया. Okay, that's it. Thank you so much.
सर
बोलो बोलो.
एक डाउट था, आपने जो जिप फाइल में जो पासवर्ड स्टोर किया था वो कौन से फॉर्मेट में था? हैश वैल्यू में क्यों था? तो डायरेक्ट हम लोग टेक्स्ट फाइल लिखा था ना.
मैं बताता हूँ. देखो वापस डेमो दे रहा हूँ. क्या किया बेसिकली इन द डेस्कटॉप, मैंने ये demo.txt फाइल को पहले कन्वर्ट किया, उसको कंप्रेस किया, राइट. कंप्रेस करने के बाद ये demo.zip था, कंप्रेस फाइल हुआ. देन आई अप्लाइड अ पासवर्ड ऑन टू इट. मैंने पासवर्ड सेट किया एडमिन. ठीक है, विजिबल है स्क्रीन?
यस सर.
ओके, तो मैंने पासवर्ड एडमिन सेट किया. ओके, सो आफ्टर सेटिंग द पासवर्ड, what happens is you need to convert this zip file into its corresponding hash value. तो hash value में convert करने के लिए हमने ये वाला कोड अप्लाई किया, this one, zip2john. Okay, so what exactly zip2john is doing? Zip2john is converting that demo.zip into a text file, which is in my case SRI. So that text file जो हमने यहाँ पे create किया, let me show you. This text file is nothing but the hash value of that zip file.
जिप फाइल. ओके.
पूरे zip फाइल की कंटेंट्स जो भी है उनका एक कंबाइंड हैश वैल्यू है. तो उस हैश वैल्यू को हमने फिर रीड किया यूजिंग दिस पैरामीटर जॉन. शो इज द पैरामीटर व्हिच आई फॉरगॉट टू ऐड. देन वी नीड टू प्रोवाइड द फॉर्मेट व्हिच वाज इनिशियली zip फाइल, बिकॉज zip का हमने हैश बनाया था तो वो हमें ध्यान में रखना पड़ेगा. सो zip फाइल को हमने एज अ पैरामीटर भेजा, एंड जो एक्चुअल टेक्स्ट फाइल है जिसके अंदर हैश वैल्यूज है, दैट टेक्स्ट फाइल इज सेंट एज एन इनपुट. ओके, सो वंस वी एंटर दिस, उस टेक्स्ट फाइल का उसने क्रैक किया पासवर्ड बेसिकली. समझा?
हाँ सर, समझा.
सो बेसिकली हैश वैल्यू से हम लोग पासवर्ड को डिक्रिप्ट करते हैं.
यस सर.
ओके,
थैंक यू सर.
वेलकम.